Good evening, everybody. It's November 12th, 2025. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. Hope everybody's having a nice night. Pretty crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. We're talking about Canadian. We're talking about Canadian politics all last week, about the budget and how if Pierre was going to survive, and if the budget was going to pass, if there was going to be an election. And the budget's coming up. The vote is coming up, I think, Monday. And it's been pretty quiet. Like Pierre, the Conservatives haven't really hit this budget. And the media has been covering for the Liberals on this budget. They haven't been attacking them at all. And so I guess we'll find out Monday if there's going to be if there'll be an election or if the budget will pass. Who knows? But it's weird what's going on in the States. In the States, Trump, who I wanted him to win against Kamala. Remember Kamala? She's coming to Toronto, actually. And $4,000 tickets, I heard. Like, who the hell's paid $4,000 for Kamala Harris? So, but down in the States, it's kind of weird what's going on. Trump is losing a lot of support for being Israel's little bitch. And a lot of the younger generation, and people my age, but a lot of the younger generation are like sick of U.S. politicians kissing ass there. Like, it's pretty pathetic, really, when you look at it, when they kiss that wall. But anyway, Trump's losing a lot of support because it's the make Israel, like Israel first crowd against the America first crowd, and they're like fighting each other. And that's Trump's supporters. They're fighting each other. And then Trump took a hit because he didn't release the Epstein files. And now a bunch of new emails mentioning him, and Epstein emails mentioning him. And then he said this weird thing the other day in an interview saying how Americans aren't skilled and that's why they're bringing in all these foreign Indians to work. So he's in a little bit of... He's losing a lot of popularity. It's really quite fascinating to watch. But it kind of makes me feel not good, but at least not as bad. Because I thought Canada was going to shit. Young people couldn't afford houses, start a family, flooded by Indians, taking their jobs. I thought, Canada was screwed. But apparently the States is going through the same thing. They're getting flooded by Indians, and their government's bringing them in, like the traders that they are. So I guess Canada and the U.S. have got more in common, it seems, because we were complaining about the Indians for a long time. Now the States is complaining about them. It's like they're everywhere, man. There's a lot of Indians in the world, and they all want out of India. So yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, because the Trump thing affects Canada, because if he loses all his support in the States, the Liberals are going to be like thinking they won and take all the credit for holding tough against Trump, and it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. It's all a nightmare, because Trump disappointed a lot of people. He thought he was going to come in and do stuff but turns out it was all bullshit. But, people shouldn't believe it, me included, but, you got to have some hope someday. And that these globalists and destroying Canada and U.S. would, finally be turned back, but it doesn't look like it. Like, at least not for Trump. Trump ain't going to do it. But the young generation, they're the ones that are going to decide things. Maybe with a little guidance from the Gen X, I don't know. But a lot of these dinosaurs don't see what's coming, I don't think. Anyway, let's see what's on today. A lot of third world stuff here. All right. Speaking, I hate these guys, the Cal Stannies. It's like, wow. Like, when you talk about assimilation into Canada, like, because Greek people, Italian people, Polish people, by the second generation, by the second generation, they're pretty well getting assimilated. Like, their kids, they might marry some other ethnicity, and by the end of it, it's just Canadian. It's not. It's not like ethnic enclaves. But these guys, do these guys look like they're going to assimilate into Canada? No. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they want a Khalistan country in India. It doesn't look like they're in a hurry to go back to India. Who knows what the hell they want? But we let them organize here. We let them bring their politics, like their terrorism here, to Canada. And the States does too. I don't know. And they keep coming and coming. I don't understand the difference between these guys and the other Indians, but I don't care. We should send them all back, and they could figure it out. Figure out their differences in India, not in Canada. And I think the States is going to be interesting, because once they get their Indian fatigue, it should be, let's just say, they're not as polite as Canadians, I don't think. But yeah, these guys, where is this? Okay, so this is interesting. This is I know that they were in Niagara Falls. They were having some meeting. I don't know if this is Niagara Falls, but anyway, why is this in Canada? Real Canadians have had enough of Hindus and Sikhs bringing their conflicts to our soil. It's time to fuck off back to India while it's still an option. Yeah, like, they're not assimilating, guys. They're not assimilating. Not assimilating. And guys like Wyatt Claypool, Zio Cucks, and Daniel Boardman and Cat Canada, they don't mind having millions of these guys coming in, as long as they're not Muslims. Okay. Israel must have some serious shit on Trump. Yeah, they got something on him. He's not himself. He's acting like really weird. Okay, I saw this picture the other day. This is in Newfoundland, Dairy Queen. These guys, this is the thing. They couldn't even wear shoes for the picture. They gotta do the flip-flops. It's like literally the picture only. You could have changed into the flip-flops after the picture. But no. Hell to that. We're wearing the flip-flops. You want a blizzard? You're getting it in flip-flops. Anyway. There's Don Cherry. Yesterday was Remembrance Day. Don Cherry got done dirty. Should never have gotten fired. What's he saying here? Hold on.
You love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you could.
They do like the milk and honey, that's for sure.
You're patriotic.
I don't see how he could possibly come to such a conclusion.
Very few people wear poppy.
Hockey commentator Don Cherry courted controversy during his Coach's Corner segment Saturday on Hockey Night in Canada over this.
You people love, they come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life, you love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple of bucks for poppies or something like that.
Appearing to blame immigrants for not appreciating Canada's veterans.
Yeah.
I think it's inflammatory and unnecessary and untrue.
The comments drew an immediate reaction.
To pin it all on the minorities and the new immigrants, I think that's, I thought it was outrageous, actually.
Too
Some
bad.
recent immigrants, like the owner of this Turkish restaurant, agree.
He's the wrong. What he says, he's the wrong.
Whatever.
Not right.
I felt they were offensive. I felt that he was targeting not only immigrants, but especially immigrants of color.
Cherry has frequently been in trouble over his choice of words.
I mean, what do you eat? Seal? I mean, come on, what are you, savage, a barbarian?
The president of Sportsnet, Cherry's employer, called these most recent words discriminatory and offensive and do not represent the network's values. A statement said Cherry has been spoken to about the severity of the issue.
The severity.
But not everyone's outraged.
I believe in the man. I believe that he is not a racist and he's not anti-immigrant.
The statistics on whether poppy use is down or not this Remembrance Day are not available yet. On a Sunday in Toronto, the majority of those walking the street didn't wear one. Harpreet Sani, holding a picture of his grandfather who served, says that's okay.
We appreciate the service that he did, and we don't wear a poppy every year. He never wore a poppy.
I think what he's trying to do is bring us together under the banner of respect for people who gave their lives in Canada. For Canada, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But the mayor of Mississauga, the city where Cherry lives, used hockey terminology to call out the host.
Mr. Cherry, you were offside in those comments.
Shut
Very
up.
Unfortunate, and we're calling icing on this one.
This is the loser Liberal leader who's had to quit.
The Royal Canadian Legion called Cherry a strong supporter of the Poppy campaign, saying it remains appreciative for what he's done, even if many think Cherry has gone too far.
Anyway, what they did to Don Cherry was ridiculous. It's communist Canada. That's what they do. The communists, they get rid of the culture, the existing culture. And Don Cherry didn't do nothing wrong. He said, "You people." That's what's wrong with that? You know, the guy's like 80 years old. He's not allowed to say "you people." Whatever. It's disgusting. It makes me sick. And Pierre, I don't think Pierre's ever stood up for Don Cherry. And then you see this stupid article, this stupid segment. It was all like fucking.
Hockey commentator Don Cherry.
It was all like basically foreigners piling on Don Cherry. It's like, fuck off. Don Cherry's been here all his life. I don't think we care what you guys think about Don Cherry, but our traitor government sold him out, and Ron McLean too, the piece of shit Ron McLean. So that's our little flashback for Remembrance Day. Look at this guy. So these guys have I don't know, they had rallies on Remembrance Day for some reason. This guy put a remigration now. He went and crashed their little protest. Let's see this. We got to start doing this, guys. We got to start fucking telling them, get the fuck out. We got to start. This guy's got the right idea. Look at the guy looking at him. Do these guys look like they're going to assimilate to Canada? No. Okay, I'm sick of people saying all this, you know, like it's a joke. It's such a joke. Pisses me off. Next, this stupid tunnel. Doug Ford in this stupid tunnel. He wants to spend $100 billion on a tunnel that's gonna break. They tried doing it before, and the engineer said it was gonna like collapse or something. Here, what's it say? Tunneling for the Scarborough subway extension was forced to take an 8-month break after the boring machine encountered unforeseen challenges, especially under the 401, according to government documents. So this was an earlier report. They had another report on the tunnel from 5 years ago, but Doug Ford wants to spend another $9 million for another study. And I was like, why spend $100 billion on a tunnel to alleviate traffic? Instead of, you know, we should be deporting 1 million people. That'll cut down on the traffic. You know, it's such a joke. And they can't even get the Eglinton LRT, which is like part mostly above ground, but it's parts of underground. And they've taken 15 years to build this thing. So they're going to build a $100 billion tunnel under the busiest stretch of highway in Canada. Like, it's got disaster written all over it. I'm sure there'll be lots of stolen money from it, from the project. I don't know why he keeps talking about this stupid tunnel. Okay. This is from my old what's it say? Stomping grounds in London, Ontario. My old university town. I used to ride the bus all the time. But now they have, what's this? London's turned into a total shithole. Crackheads everywhere. Immigration, they're all flooding in from Toronto. Anyway, what's it say here? Third world Canada. Good morning, Londoners. Have you spotted our officers riding with you on LTC London buses yet? The LPS Foot Patrol unit are actively patrolling buses to stay connected with riders and support a safe transit experience for everyone as they make their way around the city. If you have concerns, let us know. So yeah, when I went to university, I never saw a policeman on the bus, ever. So yeah, when you turn into a third world country, you need policemen on the bus. Probably from crackheads smoking crack on the bus. Look at it, he's such a cheery looking policeman. And they, of course, they turned the comments off. But, you know, when you have policemen on your bus, it means your society is breaking down, you know. It's probably good that they are on the bus. Look, if you look at the TTC in Toronto, the stuff that goes on those buses and on subways, trust you don't want to ride on that shit. But they should have cops on those. But in London, they have cops now. Not Toronto, London. They have cops on the buses. All right. I thought this was interesting today. Candace Malcolm was writing about the Conservative Party. And I've been saying this about the Conservative Party for a long time. And people probably think I'm a liberal plant. And all I do is criticize the Conservative Party. But no. I said, I already know the liberals. They're evil. They're traitors. They wear it with a badge of honor. So I'm not expecting anything from them. The Conservatives, though, they're saying they're the party that wants to fix things, but they don't fix anything. Like they make it worse. And Candace Malcolm, who is a pretty they're pretty pro Polyev and pro-conservative. They don't usually say bad things about the Conservatives. But she kind of got into it here. I'll read it. And the reason I like this is because it really echoed my feelings of frustration with the Conservative Party. Because they're not really a Conservative Party. They're not really a nationalist party at all. They're just a liberal light party. Okay. So this is what Candace says. I get that Polyev wasn't the leader at the time and that MPs are whipped, but there is simply no point in having a Conservative Party if they're not going to stand up to the most disgusting and despicable hard left policies. COVID jabs, residential school genocide, mass migration, and worst of all, a unanimous consensus in favor of child mutilation. We've ceded every major cultural issue of the last decade to the hard left, for sure. And our country has paid the ultimate price, for sure. We are an international joke, yes. Caricature of woke, self-destructive, and nation on the verge of collapse, yes. Canada is a shadow of its former self. She's reading my mind. The Conservatives who went along with these unconscionable policies, which is basically every MP elected before 2025, need to be held accountable and reminded of what they did to our country. So I don't think I've ever seen Candace Malcolm talk like smack like that about the Conservative Party. Good for her. Good for her. But yeah, the Conservatives are fake. There was this, the one she's talking about, the child mutilation one. She's talking about the conversion. So basically, if your kid wanted to be gay or trans and the parent tried to talk him out of it and they got like a church guy to come and try and talk him out of it, that's illegal now. You're not allowed to do that, apparently. And the Conservatives voted for it, and they were dancing. Michelle Rempel Garner, she was dancing when she voted because she thought she was this progressive. I don't know why you're in the Conservative Party then. But they failed us on the COVID. Total failure. They failed us on the immigration. In fact, they pushed for it. They failed on everything. And now the Liberals, they didn't fail. They succeeded because that's what they believe in. But the Conservatives say they don't believe in that, but yet they still allowed it to all happen. just fake conservatives, just like the Republicans in the States, the fake rhino, fake conservatives down there. We have that here. But the conservatives, like, look at the conservatives in the UK. They're done. They're at 15%. They're not coming back from that. And same within Canada. The only people voting for the Conservative Party now, the main people are the boomers, the people that voted Conservative their whole life. But the young crowd ain't going to follow these guys. Despite what, Pierre, how cool they think Pierre is. Most of the young ones, they want action.
Moving away from an emissions winding down greener.
So here's a little wrench in the Liberals' budget plan is this guy. This guy's what the hell's his name? He's a crybaby. He didn't get a cabinet spot under Carney, and he got all pissy because near Trudeau's end, Trudeau was almost done, and he appointed this guy as a cabinet minister at a time when nobody wanted to be associated with Trudeau. So he took it, and then the election came, and Carney decided we don't want him because maybe he's related, like reminds people of Trudeau. So he got all pissy about that, and now he's criticizing the budget. So it'll be interesting to see if he votes for it, because he's still an MP, or if he doesn't vote for it, and if they kick him out, because that'll affect the Liberal seat count. So that's kind of a little wrench in the works. He might be running for Liberal leader in Ontario too, so this might be just his little way to get some publicity. Let's see what he says here.
5 years, 90 billion net after.
He's useless though. He was a Trudeau guy.
Climate action, cutting tree planting, moving away from.
Of course, he's against the climate act.
Climate action, cutting tree planting, moving away from an emissions cap, winding down greener homes. No new money for climate action. On housing, it falls short of these specific promises in our platform, and it unfortunately falls well short of the wartime effort that many of us thought we'd deliver. The budget adds 140 billion in new spending over 5 years, 90 billion net after savings, and only 36% of the net new spending is capital. My kids shouldn't pay for today's military or for me to save $400 of income taxes. We see the budget commit to
this guy's a total left wing
subsidy for LNG facilities. We do not need more public dollars chasing fossil fuels. Worse, we see major cuts of over $2.5 billion over 4 years to international development assistance. Overall, the budget meets the moment in part, but fairly, it does not live up to its promise of generational investments. First, cutting tree planting, moving away from an emissions cap.
God, he's got an annoying voice, this guy.
Or climate action. On housing, it falls.
No wonder Carney didn't want him around.
Fairly, it does not live up to its promise of generational investments.
Okay, so.
Yep.
Didn't sound like.
I said it before, and I'll say.
It's kind of iffy if he'll vote for it. I think he'll vote for it. I don't know. We'll find out Monday. Should be interesting. Will he vote for the budget? He's a crybaby, still upset he didn't get a cabinet position. I'm surprised they didn't kick him out. All right, there's these guys again. So this is in Niagara Falls. There's a G7 meeting with foreign ministers, and I think the Indian one, either he was there or for some reason they thought, oh, this is a good reason. This is a good way for us to show up at a G7 meeting and make the case for Khalistan. Look at these guys. Doesn't look like they're gonna assimilate into Canada here. Doesn't look like they're gonna assimilate. At all. Like, no chance. Zero chance. Zero chance of assimilation. So why are we bringing these people here? Why? Why? All right, third world Canada. Look at this. This savage. Third world Canada, Oshawa. So I remember I was saying how GTA usually was where the crime was. Like that was the GTA, you know, Grand Theft Auto. But now it's going outwards to like Brantford, Grimsby, Oshawa, Newmarket, whatever. Vaughan's totally getting hit. So this happened in Oshawa. Mohammed Baz Al Lafir has been arrested after breaking into 3 different homes and sexually assaulting female occupants all in the same afternoon. Did it during daytime. So they're not even waiting for the sun to set to rape and kill you in your own house. They're just going to do it right in broad daylight now. Yeah, look at this guy. And the more of these you bring to Canada from wherever the hell, Africa, India, Pakistan, whatever, the more you bring, the more they're going to rape and kill, and in broad daylight. Because our legal system's garbage. The police catch them and they get out on bail. And then they reoffend and they get out and they don't get deported. So yeah, we got big problems. Third world country. We let in rapists and killers into Canada. All right. Look at this one. Refugee claims jump 98% in Saskatchewan as immigration cuts leave newcomers in limbo. So they're saying about how they're cutting the student visas. And all the Indians, I said they're going to figure out a different way to stay in Canada. So now a lot of them are starting to claim refugee status. Let's see what it says. Foreign invaders are claiming asylum because they are running out of other options to stay in Canada permanently, since Ottawa made significant changes to reduce immigration targets. They didn't really reduce immigration targets, but they are cutting down the student visas. In Manitoba, asylum claims have increased by 87%. In Alberta, 57%, and in BC, 53%, and obviously here, Saskatchewan, 98%. So yeah, they're trying to use the refugee system now. And the Indians, they'll just say they're gay or something. They can't go back to their village or else they'll get killed by their whatever. Yeah, and then they'll cut down. What they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, yeah, Indians aren't refugees. They're going to kind of cancel those, but then they'll find a different way to get in a different way. Next thing you know, I said our country, they're trying to recruit soldiers for the Canadian Army. I wouldn't be surprised if they started off in these Indians. Hey, go in the Army and we'll give you a passport. They'll do it. They'll do anything to not have to go back to India. They will do anything. Within reason, I guess. They won't do it well, but they'll do it. All right. We're so run by traitors here. Traitors. Look at this. Internal emails reveal that the Department of Immigration told staff to stop advertising free healthcare to prospective immigrants because Canadians referred to in the email as the Gen Pop, we're Gen Pop. That's kind of appropriate. We are in a prison, aren't we? Email as the Gen Pop may find the ads objectionable. Yeah. They talk. The people that come in here to Canada, they talk to the people back wherever they came from, and they'll tell them free healthcare, free money, free hotel, whatever, this and that. I can't believe we keep paying for all this. Like, we're broke. $100 billion deficit almost, or $80 billion. So yeah. Here's another story. The man arrested for sexually assaulting multiple victims during Oshawa daytime home invasions. Third world Canada, savages aren't even bothering to wait for the sun to go down before they rape and kill you in your own home. All right. So yeah, how many more people have to get raped, like in England or UK. Thousands of people have been raped. Sweden, Germany. Let's just bring in more rapists. Okay. This is interesting. Today they announced the arrest of one guy. Remember that home invasion in Vaughan where the dude got killed? And I was wondering what happened with that, but I guess they're working on it and they caught. So this is what happened. Okay, 2 16-year-olds, young offenders, and 3 adults have been charged after Aleem Farouki was fatally shot in front of his family during a home invasion in Vaughan in September. So 2 16-year-olds in a home invasion. I've been saying this for a long time is about the young offenders. They call it the Youth Criminal Justice Act, I think, now. And basically what it does is protects them, their identity, protects their records. They're not allowed to, and usually they get a very minimal sentence, even for murder or violent crimes like this. And in the States, they get treated as adults, like for these violent crimes. And I said before, the Young Offenders Act was meant for the kid who made a mistake and, didn't deserve to have his life ruined for, because, kids do dumb things all the time. But when you go and invade somebody's home armed and someone dies, that's not a youthful indiscretion. That's you're a thug. You're a thug. 16-year-old, you're a thug. Sorry. So, and a lot of these gangs are taking advantage of the fact that they're under 18 to do crimes. So they're basically gaming the system. And even if they get caught, they're not going to get anything. Even if the adult gets caught, they don't get anything. So the youths aren't going to get nothing. I think they put a picture of the one. So what happened here? Okay. So they're looking for the 16-year-old. Okay. So what's going on here? So one adult has been charged. An arrest warrant has been issued for 16-year-old Jay Sean Williams for first-degree murder. A 34-year-old man from Toronto was charged with accessory after the fact. 3 additional suspects have been identified and are believed to have operated the stolen vehicle. Investigation remains active, with suspects still standing. There's the young scholar there. See, they're allowed to publish his name if the judge gives them permission, if they're like a fugitive, so they need to find them. So then once they find them, then they'll not publish his picture. But how many of these pictures have I seen in the last 2 months, 3 months of young offenders doing serious shit? Like, remember that kid who yoinked the old lady in the supermarket parking lot? 14-year-old. And, yeah, it's going to keep going. Jay Sean. All right. Third world country here. We got child soldiers. But we don't prosecute the child soldiers here. All right. Next. This is the thing. They're talking about Ukraine at this G7 foreign ministers meeting in Niagara Falls, and they're saying they had the Ukraine foreign ministers there, even though he's not in the G7. And Canada was like, "Oh, we're gonna continue to support Ukraine and throw more money at Ukraine and sanction Russia." And then you see stories like this. Major corruption scandal engulfs top Zelensky allies. So it's like, why are we sending these clowns money? Billions of dollars we've sent them. It's a joke. We got drug addicts, homeless people autistic kids. We got so many people that need help in this country. Young kids who can't afford a house, but we're going to send billions of dollars to these clowns. Ukraine's energy and justice minister have resigned in the wake of a major investigation into corruption in the country's energy sector. On Monday, anti-corruption bodies accused several people of orchestrating an embezzlement scheme in the energy sector worth about $100 million, including a national nuclear operator, Enerhotam. Some of those implicated in the scandal are or have been close associates of Zelensky's. So yeah, this isn't new. Ukraine was like already considered one of the most corrupt, if not the most corrupt country in Europe. So this is not true, but instead, what do? Send billions of dollars, almost 23 to 24 billion dollars to Ukraine, to the most corrupt country. We're dummies. We're good traitor leaders. Traitors. Why is the Canadian government giving billions of dollars to these corrupt clowns? It's a good question. And Pierre would do the same thing, it looks like. He hasn't been against Ukraine either. Speaking of Pierre, there he is right there. He's been kind of quiet all week. When you think about it, this budget is coming up, and it's kind of a big, important budget, but he hasn't really been lighting it on fire in opposition to this budget. So here he's asked about how things are going. Let's see what he says here.
Canadians are judging him, and they...
You lost 2 MPs the budget. One leadership is the reason for leaving. I just want to put Carney and the Liberals to the side here, just as you personally.
Of course you do.
Does this say anything about your leadership? Have you maybe reflected on your leadership style moving forward?
No, my plan is to continue to lead, to be the only leader in the country that's fighting for an affordable Canada, where our people who work hard can afford a home and food. That is my agenda. And I will just quote Mr. d'Entremont when he speaks about Mark Carney. He says, after 6 months under a new Prime Minister who promised financial discipline, Canadians are still waiting. He said that he would be judged by the cost of groceries at the store. Well, Canadians are judging him, and they are not impressed. He said this only a few months ago. Since the Liberals came to power, food prices are up 40%. We have heard it many times here today. It is deliberate and it is unacceptable. It is inhumane, said Mr. d'Entremont, for a G7 country. So he said that Liberal food price inflation under Mark Carney was inhumane, and I couldn't agree more. And I feel badly for the inhumane conditions, to use his own words, that he is now supporting for his own constituents.
So I thought that was interesting because he spent that whole time attacking his former MP and basically using his own words to criticize Carney, which is fine, I guess, but all you're doing is reminding people that this guy quit and the other guy quit, and you didn't have a lid on it. You didn't stop that from happening. Just like you didn't stop your loss in the riding that you held for 20 years. Like, you got to be on top of that stuff. And so all he did was remind people of his defected MP, his MP that defected. So, but like I said, he doesn't look like he's tearing it up. He looks almost a little dejected. Maybe he knows something we don't. But when Candace Malcolm is criticizing the Conservatives, and she kind of made it clear it wasn't just Pierre, it was the whole Conservative Party. But when someone like Candace Malcolm is criticizing the Conservatives, there's some problems. They're not getting the traction. And if Trump goes down a little in the midterms, oh man, Carney is it's gonna be hard for Pierre to be able to survive against Carney, because he's gonna look, anyway. Pierre's not lighting it up, let's just say that. We'll find out. Time will tell what happens Monday will be very important. And here's our traitor prime minister. I can't stand this guy, but he bores everybody to death, so you don't even listen to him. That's his power. So what's this? Canada announces $1.7 billion program to recruit top H-1B visa holders from America. So yeah, the States was bringing in these guys, millions of Indians, and we're saying, hold on, we got to keep up, and we got to bring in as many Indians as we can to keep up with the States. And this H-1B thing, all it is cheap labor. They're saying, oh, no, it's cheap labor, and that's what they're doing in Canada too. Because the corporate interests want these Indians to come over. Endless supply of Indians. Because you got to understand too, like these companies, they like their cheap slave labor and docile labor, but they also get new customers, new consumers coming to U.S. and Canada. Millions of new consumers. That's all they care about. Let's see what he says here.
The world's most talented research. So 1.7 billion for the world's most talented researchers, 1,000 of them, and targeted H-1B visa recruitment from the United States. Because we do have the best educated workforce, and we do have some of the world's best research universities. But when you are good, you know you have to get better, and that's what we're trying
We have to
do.
bring in foreigners, more foreigners to Canada. That's basically what he's saying. But it's weird because Trump's doing the same thing. He's like, we got to bring in these people because we don't have the expertise here in the States. So it's kind of the same message in Canada. We're both screwed, States and Canada. Yeah, not much to be happy about. And that's it for the day. That's all my posts for today. Unless I say Facebook here. So, just trying to see if there's anything else here. No, I think we pretty well covered it. Anyway, I'll be here tomorrow again, November 13th. Wow, it's going by quick. It'll be Christmas in no time. So, back tomorrow, November 13th. We'll see if there's any new developments on the Canadian side of politics with the budget. And see what else. But yeah, that'll be the big thing next week, to see if we have an election. See if Pierre loses any more MPs. See if Nate Erskine, the Liberal MP, just votes for the budget or against. Should be interesting stuff. So until tomorrow, everybody, make sure you guys have a nice night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.